It's Thursday, one day closer to the weekend.
Absolutely.
This is Loot Shooter Weekly with Burt and Negan. And I am gamertag Burt Reynolds, and that is the golden voice of gaming up there, Negan Killjoy.
Burt down there, me up here.
You're up there. Burt Reynolds is down here.
And how is Burt Reynolds today?
I'm doing great, Negan. How about you?
Doing okay. Like I said a little while ago, having some technical difficulties throughout the day, but that's okay. You know, sometimes that happens. You have those days. So it's a technical difficulty Thursday for me. So we're okay, though. We're working through it.
I was having a few audio technical difficulties as we were experiencing a minute ago with my...
Apparently I'm contagious.
Bought a fancy new headset and can't quite get it working yet, so I'll have to play with that. I should have played with it earlier. I did not have time. Right. We have a ton to cover tonight, though, because all three of the games that we routinely cover have news this week.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So, kind of the format for tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the news, and then we're going to do our section on the brews of the week, beer of the week, for each of us. I've got a fun one tonight. I'm having dessert.
I also have a fun one, so I'm kind of looking forward to talking about this one.
Good. I'm glad.
So let's go shoot through the news quick. We can do the beers first and then go to the news. Since we're both excited about our beers.
Always in a hurry to get to the beer section. Killjoy.
That's right. Especially tonight. For some reason, especially tonight. Yes.
Because of technical difficulties.
Yes.
No, we'll cover the news fast. So we're in Destiny tonight. We'll talk about that one last because we'll be running content here. We played a little Division last week. We skipped a week of streaming because of technical difficulties on my end last week. Just busyness, honestly.
Yep.
Real life
but gets in the way. We
did end up playing the Division last week, and we had actually a really nice time. I don't know. I mean, that's the one we play the least, right? So it's hard to tell, but it felt good, felt fun, and Optimization Station was the big change. They lowered the cost, and it's still absorbently expensive to optimize gear in that game. Like, we played for, 3 hours, and I still didn't earn enough in 3 hours to optimize anything. Yeah, I'm like, this is not what I was picturing.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they were coming off with they're saying it's supposed to take an hour to do optimization, to do the next step and stuff like that. So per piece. So I'm not sure where their numbers are coming from or how they're arriving at that number, but that's what they say. But we discovered that wasn't necessarily the case.
They don't do math the same way I do math, or they don't tell time the same way I tell time. They're Swedish. I'm half Swedish, so I get it. But like,
right. Let's get a metric system. It's a metric system. Fucking thing.
The metric system.
That's what it is.
By an hour, they mean 12 hours.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah, they don't mean a real hour. They mean like a metric hour or something like that. Yeah.
And by optimizing a piece, they mean maybe optimizing one stat on it a little tiny bit. And so, exactly. Yeah, whatever. But we had fun playing it. That was the point. I mean, we had a really good time. And I'm on a Series X, and the update for the Series X, the game looks unbelievable. Which, I mean, that game looked unbelievable anyway. So, I think all of the Ubisoft games shine in the graphics department.
Absolutely, they all do. The environments, and we've mentioned it numerous times. Division 1, the environment in Division 1 was just spectacular. Everything about Division 1 in New York was just spectacular. When they went a little different route with DC, but their environments and their, and all the Ghost Recons are all really good too. So I can imagine what they're like on the X. Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
Very beautiful.
Borderlands this week finally got the news about the second DLC. Little underwhelming.
Designer's cut, right?
Is that designer's cut or is that developer's cut? Whatever it is, one of the cuts. It's a cut. A little underwhelming. One raid boss is basically what we're getting. Some skins, a raid boss, some new side missions, I think. On each planet, a little story, but not. I mean, I was hoping for a full blown. After the last two DLCs for that game were really, really weak
really light. Yeah,
I felt like, okay, well, height of the pandemic and people adjusting, and there wasn't a lot of time between them, between the fourth DLC. There wasn't a lot of time between any of them, but now they've had a long time. 2-week updates, 2 really light on content updates, and a considerable amount of time. And so I was really hoping for something more than some cosmetics, a couple side missions, not even main story missions, and 1 raid boss.
So you're disappointed by them just pulling out 1 raid boss. I thought that would be kind of a cool thing for you, because you had talked about it before with the different cuts and the different DLC that we were looking for and waiting for another raid.
Raid bosses are a little different. I mean, it's like a single boss, kind of like a HVT in the Division, but with mechanics. But in, Borderlands 2...
raid. Oh, so I read
Borderlands,
raid.
No. Borderlands 2 had many raid bosses, and, they added several of them over the course of the lifespan of that game. And now they did claim they're going to support the game going through into 2022, so maybe there will be more, but as a paid DLC, I was like, man, that feels light.
Yeah, I agree with that. It definitely feels a little light. Yeah, I completely read the news wrong. I thought it was another raid, but no, just a little raid mini boss or a boss.
Just a little mini boss, and you have to pay 5,000 iridium to open the door to fight him every time.
5,000 or 500?
I think it was 5,000. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it was 5,000 though. Like as a fire team, you have to pay 5,000. So whatever that is, 1750 a piece or something. It's a lot.
Expensive.
I'm like, oof. And even if it's 500, it's still expensive.
Right.
Whatever. You should, for paid DLC, I shouldn't have to use in-game currency to unlock it to play it each time. I'm like, that's a dumb decision. They got a lot of negative feedback, a lot of negative input. Maybe it won't be that way in the end. Maybe there'll be enough pushback. We do know that they do tend to do a pretty good job addressing things when people are really unhappy about it.
Right, exactly.
So maybe
so it's called the director's cut.
Maybe they'll decide to be like, yeah, that was dumb. I'm hoping. Here's hoping.
Right. Yeah, and they're also doing, so I'm looking, I just went online real fast to double check what it was. I can't see the price per, but it also talks about where Ava's doing the murder mystery thing. So they're trying to make Ava hopefully redeem her arc, see if you get to like her a little bit more. So there's that for that one. And then, the vault cards was the other one, was the bundles of themed loot and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah. But then again, loot's not really a problem in that game. So.
No, that's the one thing that is not a problem in that game, that's for sure.
It's not like this game. Not like this game. It's like the generous one. They each have their scales across the board, right? So that's the generous game. And then, of course, Destiny got a seasonal update, and we'll cover off on that after we talk about what we're gonna have to drink tonight.
Oh, and don't forget, also in Borderlands 3 is the Broken Hearts event has popped up again.
Yes, that's coming. Broken Hearts is coming.
Yes,
and
it should have launched today, I believe, for 2 weeks.
Did it launch today? Okay, so that's and everybody's farming wedding invitations and the one other gun, the Malon gun. So that launched, and that's a seasonal event over there as well, and then we'll have. I assume we're going to get back the villa in the spring with Joey Ultraviolet.
They're kind of going that route, aren't they?
I think they're just going to redo all the seasonal stuff from last year, but obviously this new power level. No talk in the talk of the second DLC of raising the power cap. So I'm kind of grateful for that. I was half expecting them to raise the power cap by 2 again to make everybody refarm everything. They're not.
Right.
Doesn't appear they are.
I think they probably. I almost feel like they learned their lesson the last time they only upped it by 1 or 2, and there was probably a lot of. They got a lot
backlash.
Of backlash and stuff like that. So they probably are now. If they're going to do it, they're going to make it significant. They're going to probably tie it to, like we talked about, more DLCs, maybe another raid, and tie it to that, and say, okay, now is another gear level increase, which would make sense. If you're going to do another raid and make the raid a little more difficult and a little harder and stuff like that, that would be a good time to do it.
Right.
Still going to get backlash. People still probably going to complain about it, but that would make a lot of sense if they did it that way.
Right. True. True. All of those things are very true. So we'll have to, maybe next week we'll play some Broken Hearts. I haven't done that in a year, so that might be fun.
I know, it's been a while.
And those are some good guns. There's some good loot there to be had. So
yes, there is.
On this front, well, before we get into this front, what are you drinking tonight, Negan?
Am I first?
Don't want to hold you back. No, I'm gonna let you.
You're gonna let me go first. Well, tonight I'm drinking what's called a tropical, and I figured this was fun to do for game related. You know what we do? It's called Tropical Pog Hefeweizen. It's from Cali Squeeze.
Tropical Pod?
Pog. P-O-G. Pog. Or Pogue. You know, being the greatest or something. And it actually stands for Passion, Orange, and Guava Hefe is what it stands for. So it's by Cali Squeeze. It's by the local brewery here in San Luis Obispo. Well, not local, but San Luis Obispo. And it's called Slow Brew, but it is called Tropical Pog Hefeweizen. So I'm actually excited about that. I figured gaming-wise, Pog seemed like the right thing to go for, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Since you're out in a balmy.
That's right. I'm practically sweating out here. That's right. It seems like a good Hefeweizen weather out here for me.
Yeah.
Compared to what you have to deal with on your side of the country.
Because I'm where it's freezing cold, I went the other direction.
That's literally freezing cold.
This one's from Maplewood Brewing in Chicago, and it's called Morbidly Obese Pug. Pug, P-U-G. It's a little puppy dog. They have a stout called the Pug, and this is the Morbidly Obese Pug. It's extra fudge imperial chocolate stout.
Holy crap! You are right. You are drinking dessert just by the description.
And it says ale brewed with cacao, chocolate, vanilla, and lactose.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have any other description. It just says it's extra fudgy.
Extra fudgy. Interesting. That must be the lactose, or the attempt with the lactose, which a lot of breweries are starting. Well, not a lot, but I've seen that more and more now, where more breweries are putting lactose in with some of their beers and their stouts and stuff like that.
Milk stout. That's what a milk stout is. It has lactose in it, but usually not in an imperial. So that's that's why I thought it was interesting.
That does sound interesting.
It pours about the consistency of motor oil.
Ooh, that should make you excited. You like that look?
It is that color. I mean, it is as black as black comes.
Yeah, it is.
So,
cool. Cheers, my friend.
All right. Whoa, that's chocolate. All right.
Hey, lots of fudge. Lots of fudge right there for you.
Mega fudge. All right. And that is straight up dessert. That does not even taste like a stout. That tastes like a dark chocolate milkshake, or I don't know. Delicious if you're looking for dessert. So this game got a big seasonal update. Let's talk first and foremost about what it added.
Okay.
So it added a seasonal event called Battlegrounds. That's where our dad joke level clever name for the stream came from tonight. Guardian Unknown Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds. Yep.
Because it is Battlegrounds, and it's I don't know, sort of like a strike.
It's like a strike. It's more like a horde mode kind of thing, like a zombie mode almost. Not zombies, but I think people have been describing it kind of as a horde mode, with the number of enemies that you're fighting through, and you wave and wave and wave of them. That's what they're referring to it as. I think that's a good description of it.
Sort of that mixed with a strike, mixed with a hunt. It's not in any new location or anything. It's same areas we play in. 4 strikes and hunts, so no new areas. They brought back the weapons and armor for Altar of Sorrows, Pit of Heresy, Shattered Throne, and the well in the Dreaming City, Blind Well, and also in the hunts on the moon. So you can now get Moon and Dreaming City armor and weapons again up to the current power level. The Dreaming City ones make me angry because sunsetting. I had at one point I farmed for and had every one of the curated roles, the curated masterworks of all of the Dreaming City weapons, and they all got sunset last update.
Yeah, they did.
And now I have to farm them all again, which makes me upset. So I haven't done that yet. I'm not doing any of that yet.
Yeah. And that seems like a kick to the crotch, to be honest, to sunset them and then immediately practically
give them back the next season.
Say, hey, the next season. That seems kind of cruel to the player base and say, okay, yeah, I'm almost thinking that they didn't intend to do it, but they realized maybe they weren't bringing enough guns into Season of the Chosen as new guns.
Right.
So that's what I think. I part of me thinks that's what happened, is they're like, oh, we don't have enough new guns. Now we need to bring back these other guns. And oh, look, Dreaming City that we just got rid of. Haha. Have a nice day. Good job on, just all those last season.
It had the set of stuff I think they needed, but yeah, that doesn't feel good, man. Having your really hard chase down. I mean, that took months to get all the curated role masterworks of those things, and so deprecating all of them, then giving them back to me and making me chase them again sucks. I don't like it, but it is what it is. The Moon ones are weird because they didn't give all the Moon weapons and armor back, so like the things that come from the essences, they didn't give any of those back. So like my favorite assault rifle from the Moon was the Arc Logic, and that's not back. It's other stuff. So I don't know. Okay. Whatever. Not all of that came back. They allegedly gave us back 2 strikes from Destiny 1, which I was really pumped about. Devil's Lair, where you fight the Prime Servitor, and Saber Strike. However, they're not coming up in the strike playlist. There's no way to access them from the director. The Devil's Lair is the Nightfall this week, so you can do it that way, but like people are not getting it. It's not coming up in the strike playlist. And nobody basically has had access to Saber at all. So
that seems odd. They bring him in, they tell you they're there, and
gave him back. Maybe they gave him back. I don't know.
You just can't see him, Interesting.
Is it a bug? Is it intentional? Nobody knows. So there's that, and they did not address it on This Week at Bungie today. Everybody thought they would, and then they didn't. So that's weird.
Must be investigating what's going on. Must be a bug of some sort they gotta look at.
They broke my prized Dune Marchers. My Titan, the Titan Exotic I basically wear on every build. They broke them, so that's broken. So I got to find something else to wear for a few weeks.
How'd they break them, Mr. Salt? How'd they break them?
They don't work anymore. The Dune Marchers, you gain speed and then you punch something and it shoots lightning everywhere.
Oh, lost you.
So I would call that broken.
Yeah, that definitely isn't broken.
I don't know. I mean, they don't shoot lightning, so there's that.
Half the fun of running them, and they don't do it anymore. Yeah, that seems broken.
Yeah, it's broken. So yeah, a couple of things like that. They did change up how you interact with the ritual activity vendors. So now you don't have weekly bounties. You don't turn in coins anymore. So that's different. And so you basically just earn ranks and then you go get things. And every time you cross a master level rank, like one of the main levels of rankings, you get stuff from their sort of, call it path tree. That is, the higher your rank, you'll get stuff. That's cool. Each one of the ritual activities got a couple new guns that only drop from those ritual activities. The bottom dollar is the one everyone's chasing. That's Gambit. That's a Void hand cannon, 120 RPM hand cannon. People are pretty pumped about that. Kind of like the Void version of the True Prophecy. That's cool. Yeah, so I mean, there's quite a bit of new stuff. Almost in some ways too much to do. And then of course the big thing is we got a 50 power level increase. So we have to first chase down.
Back to farming. Back to chasing the level.
Chasing down the power level.
Did you get that power level last season? I forget. You got there, didn't you? Or you
I did,
really,
on all
really
three.
Close?
I got there on all three. We're going to run a battleground. I'm sorry, battleground. Yes, we're running a battleground. The battleground, the interesting thing here is when you start to do these, they come out of the Vanguard. So we did get this. Now we have this nice little Vanguard thing that has new things inside of it. Last season it was just strikes and the Nightfall, but now you have the Grandmaster Nightfall, which is not available yet. Vanguard Strikes, Nightfall, and then the Battlegrounds. And every 3 of these you get powerful gear. We don't know how far it goes. My theory is it goes to 12. So when you get to 3, like originally the bar says 0 of 3. And then when you get to 3, then it changes to 3 of 6. And then when you get to 6, it changes to 6 of 9. My bet is it'll eventually say 9 of 12. And the final would be Pinnacle. That would be my guess, because they keep getting more powerful as we move up this.
Yep.
So we're going to run one of these tonight, just to show you what it looks like. As Negan described it, it's kind of Horde mode, or Horde mode meets Strike meets Hunt. I don't know. There are, when you get to the point where you're running out of the playlist, out of the Vanguard playlist here, they do have barrier champions and what is the other one?
Unstoppables, I believe.
Unstoppables, yeah. So, obviously new season, new weapons do the things that last season's weapons did now. So now we have basically, it's going to be pulse rifle is going to be unstoppable. And is that the only one that's unstoppable? No, we have unstoppable hand cannon again. So that's the same as last season. Now we have unstoppable pulse. We have barrier scout rifle. And the funny thing is, that's the only one out of the primary weapons that is anti-barrier. Now there's anti-barrier sniper, but that bad boy takes up 6 slots in your armor. So that's a heavy hitter. And then we have overload on submachine gun and overload on the bows. Cool. Nice to get the bows in there. I was really hoping for fusion rifle or sidearm. Didn't get either of those. But, hey, it's different.
We got and on top of that, with the Battlegrounds, you got the armor, the hammer of proving as well, that you can equip, which I'm going to do real fast. Of course, it looks like we just locked in there. There we go. Let me in there. So I want to smash them at the end of this, even though it's kind of a waste for me right now.
Yeah.
Just cap that one for now. I want to smash something on stream. I want to smash big chest. Roar.
I'll do the same. You get charges for that, or the gold for that comes from running other stuff.
Yep. Running strikes and gambit and public events and not bounties. That it? Those 3? That was something else.
Well, you're supposed to get it. You're supposed to get it from raids, but that's also currently broken.
Oh,
and not
that's
working.
Too bad.
Raids and dungeons are supposed to give it to you also, but both of those are currently not working.
That's not good.
Yeah, the list of bugs is solid. Pretty solid.
The list is real.
It's pretty solid. It might almost match the list of new features. Like, kind of close. And I'm genuinely not trying to be salty. It's just there are a shocking number of bugs for, something that has been 3 months in the making here.
Right, exactly.
That is one thing they did do. They added several of the catalysts that you could not get previously, that had been either deprecated or were only available in things that are no longer available. They added back into the game. So I think both you and I got Skyburner's catalysts.
Yes, we did. I know I did. Got it from a Gambit, as a matter of fact.
Gambit match. Yep, I got mine from a Gambit match. I found, you know what I found funny is Gambit probably needs an overhaul, right? Like I've heard it described as they've just kind of given up on it, like, and so they have made it as bearable as possible. So I love Gambit, and you know that it's one of my favorite modes, but it probably does need an overhaul. There aren't nearly enough maps, and
yeah, it's very much same old every time you play it kind of thing.
right. And so the way they, rather than address the actual problem of Gambit being needing an overhaul, they just hid some really great content behind it, like the catalysts of the Skyburners and that new hand cannon. So that
Right.
even if you hate Gambit, which a lot of people at this point I think do, you'll run it because that's the only way you're getting that bottom dollar hand cannon and the Skyburners catalyst. So, you know, hashtag kind of worth it. I think the other very fun thing to do during these is to take bets on how many times your blueberry will be cabal balled and how many times will you be. You know, I mean, you can do over-unders on that. It's because the struggle there is real. I mean, let's be honest. It happens. Happens to all of us, and just fun to figure out like how many times in one of these is somebody going to get the cabal ball to the face and die. In the meantime, how'd you feel about your very fruity Hefeweizen?
Pog, my Pog beer. Pog?
Pog.
P-O-G. Pog.
Pog.
I liked
Poggers.
it. It was pretty. Poggers. Exactly. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It was very fruit juicy. If that's a description. It doesn't taste like Hefeweizen. It tastes like a fruit juice almost, and very like a a passion orange guava fruit juice more than it does a beer. So if that's what you like, it's not bad. I mean, it's I don't know. I'm kind of mixed feelings on it. I think I have to have another one to really confirm whether I dislike or like it or not. But it's drinkable. It's enjoyable. About halfway gone. I just pour the rest out of the can.
It's drinkable.
The best description.
I was gonna say, what is that? It's drinkable. What is that? 3 out of 10? 3 out of 10 is drinkable.
It's a 4 or 5 out of 10 right now. Yeah, it's not COVID beer. It's not like I found it and it's my COVID beer that I found over in the corner.
Okay.
So there's that.
That's fair.
so
step above COVID beer. You actually went out of your way to get this one.
Exactly, a little bit step above. How is your extra fudge pug beer?
Yes, morbidly obese pug, extra fudge imperial chocolate stout. Actually, man, it's awesome. But again, much like yours, I does not taste at all like beer, and man, this is an all-nighter, right? Like this is, especially for me.
Very heavy, very dense kind of beer to it.
Yeah, and I'm dieting because I've been putting on the COVID-15 because of lack of exercise. It's been so cold, and so I've not been consuming much beer at all, and so like it's not like it's a ton of alcohol, but it's just like between the heaviness of it and everything else, it just like I feel full.
Gotcha.
Is more what it is. Like I've had, what is that? I mean, maybe 3 ounces of it, and I'm like, man, my stomach's like full. I feel like I ate. But it tastes awesome.
Feel like you've had a little bit of dessert.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Great description. It's like I had a big fat piece of chocolate cake. And so that's
you push yourself back from the table and just lean back and go, oh, yeah, I'm full, I'm done. I can take no more.
So that'll be like, that would be an all-nighter, but it's very, very good. You know, oddly enough, I think it would be actually like delicious with like a scoop of ice cream in it. I know that sounds weird, but it probably would be.
That's one of my favorite drinks. Get like a Guinness with like a really good vanilla ice cream. Do like a Guinness float. Yeah, good stuff, man. Get a good imperial stout with a nice vanilla ice cream or something like that. Good stuff. That
would probably be about as good as that would get. I don't eat ice cream, so I won't do that. But if I did,
you eat ice cream. What kind of guy are you? You don't eat ice cream.
I don't eat any processed sugar. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
No processed sugar. So
well, I'll enjoy an extra one this summer for you.
Thanks.
In celebration of you, I'll have an extra one at some point.
Ice cream has processed sugar in it. Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
It might have a little bit.
Right.
Even the natural stuff, even like the briars and the natural stuff, is still considered processed sugar.
It has cane sugar in it. I mean added sugar. I don't do added sugar.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Naturally occurring sugar, or at least I should say, I try to minimize it as much as possible. There are some areas I bend a little, like if it's like in a yeast starter for a bread, because the yeast eats it up, or the very occasional beer, like the beer eats up the sugar, but like I don't eat sweets.
Very similar to that. I don't even go out of my way to eat a lot of stuff like that either.
Right. So anyway, now that we've diverted way off onto beer floats and no sugar and all these other things, we're gonna loop it all right back around and just say, I think
it is.
Yeah, how sweet it is. I'm enjoying this so far. I always like the chase of the power level. I think I'm most excited to get at least to the powerful cap at 1300. Then I won't feel so bad about going and doing like Dreaming City and Moon stuff, because at this point, if I were to get any of the guns from there or gear, it's just one more thing to infuse, one more thing to waste infusion materials on. So so I'm pretty pumped about getting up to that 1300, and then we'll go play some other fun stuff. And with that's the new update here, and we'll plan to come show you some Borderlands next week. I'm working on a new Kensei build that we're going to release at our Discord, the Angelic and Beastly Creatures Discord, probably in the next week. An Amara Kensei build, so that'll be coming up too.
Nice. So just as a preview, what's Kensei build mean? What do you mean by Kensei build?
So that's Amara's purple skill tree with the orb.
Okay, that's right.
And I've never done anything with that. And I'm trying to make one work that's not a lot of people, that's kind of a melee focused common build, and I'm trying to come up with a way to run it a little bit more balanced with a gun. So
okay.
There's the preview. I'm working on it. I've been playing with skill trees, playing with parts, and hoping to get something together. So maybe I'll have that together by next Thursday. We can do a build video, and then we can maybe go do some of the Broken Hearts thing and check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Perfect.
All right, sounds good.
On that note, I think it's time to just say goodbye to you, Burt. Thank you for everything you did tonight and all the talking on the news, and everybody else. See ya.